In this video, I'll share how I bought a business for $2.3 million using $24,000 of my own cash. I'll share the 4 steps that I took from start to finish, as well as the 2 lessons learned. If I can do it, you can do it too. I don't come from a family of money. I was born and raised in a rural village in Zimbabwe. Both my parents were unemployed and they both died before I turned the age of 9. At school, I was an average student at best. So how did I buy a business worth millions of dollars with little of my own cash? Let's dive in. Step number 1, be clear of what you want in life. In other words, know your why. In my case, I started by identifying my source of motivation. You can do this by answering these 3 questions. Why do you wake up every day and work hard? How do you want your life to look like 20, 50, or 100 years from now? How do you want to be remembered when you're gone? In my case, building a strong financial safety net is what motivates me to keep going even when times are tough. The other thing that motivated me to start a business was the realization that if you work for someone, they can fire you at any time. I worked for a company for 14 years, and during those 14 years, there were 3 layoffs. I don't know about you, but I love to be in the driver's seat of my own life. When you own your source of income, you become the master of your own destiny. I love real estate, so I made the decision to start a real estate business. Step number 2 is educate yourself. Once you know the business you want to be in, the next step is to research the business and educate yourself. You can't just wake up one day and start or build or buy $1 million business. You need to be educated. It took me more than a year to educate myself on various classes of real estate and how to invest or buy them. I spent thousands of hours listening to podcasts, attending webinars, and watching YouTube videos and reading books. I even bought courses and hired a mentor to guide and advise me. Buying courses and hiring a mentor helped me avoid common mistakes that many people make when they do something for the first time. It made total sense for me to invest $5,000 in my education than to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars buying a bad business. Step number 3 is take action. After educating myself, the next step was to take action. And part of taking action involved assembling my core team. In my case, I needed 3 core team members. I needed a good lawyer to write and review contracts, a flexible bank to give me favorable loan terms, and an excellent property manager to manage the business on my behalf. Once my core team was in place, I started talking to brokers about what I was looking to buy. I contacted business owners asking if they would consider selling their properties. I made lots of phone calls, mailed numerous letters, and visited lots of businesses. On one such visit, I met a lady who worked at the reception at one of these businesses. This lady had 0 customer service skills. When I walked into the door, the lady greeted me with these words: "What do you want?" What a nice way to welcome a potential customer. When I asked this lady how I can reach the business owner, her response was priceless. She said, "My job is to protect the business owner from people like you." Here is the thing. When you get out of your comfort zone, you will face challenges. That afternoon, I went home, researched this business, and found the mailing address for this business owner. So I mailed him a solicitation letter. And guess what? That business became my first acquisition. And that same lady begged me to keep her as my employee. In life, what goes around comes around. So let's treat each other with respect. Step number 4 is all about negotiations. I can summarize this step by saying, give to people what they want and you get what you want. Whenever I start negotiations, I always ask the other part what is important to them in this transaction. The goal is to give them what they want within reason so that I can get what I want. In this case, the seller wanted $2.5 million for his business, but I knew that after making minor operational changes, the business could easily be worth over $3 million. And by the way, part of that minor operational changes included hiring a friendly receptionist. I offered the seller 3 prices, and each price had different terms. Whenever you give someone 3 choices, they tend to choose one of them. I made $2.3 million price more attractive than the other 2 prices and asked the seller to loan me the down payment that the bank wanted to close the deal. And to my surprise, the seller agreed. So this was a win-win for everyone. The seller got a fair price for their business. I got the business using only $24,000 of my own cash, and the bank got the down payment that they needed. After owning the same business for less than 12 months, I got an unsolicited offer of $3.5 million for this business. And guess what? I declined the offer. So here is what I learned in this transaction. Persistence pays off. Getting a bank that would agree to my deal structure was very difficult. Most banks want the buyer to have skin in the game. I contacted more than 30 banks and got a lot of no's. One bank wanted me to bring 600,000 of my own cash to the closing table. Because I didn't have such kind of money, I contacted more banks until I found one that was okay with me buying this property using other people's money. The biggest lesson in all this is ask and you shall be given. The worst that can happen is the person will say no and you move on to the next until you find one that says yes. I asked the seller for a down payment and I got one. I asked the bank if I can buy the business using someone else's money and they said yes. It doesn't get better than that, folks. If this video helped you, please watch the next one showing on your screen. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And remember, there's greatness in you. This is Ken. Stay blessed, my friend.